Thank you for watching. We are gonna be starting with the ingredients. Here's some ingredients: medium onion, garlic, lime, miyoko's butter, the little potatoes, mushrooms, and some better than bouillon. And I also forgot to add to this that I'm going to be using frozen broccoli, and that is right here, some frozen broccoli and 4 ounces of water. And that is all you need for this recipe as far as like ingredients. It was very quick, very easy. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting off boiling my potatoes. Here's the variety. You don't need to boil the potatoes. You can actually just do this by throwing them in the pan and putting it all in the oven at the same time, and it still cooks just fine. But I was really hungry and I just wanted my potatoes to be done. It just feels like it's not faster, but it feels faster when I'm just boiling potatoes while I get everything else ready to go. So next, I'm going to be, what am I doing? Oh, garlic. I'm going to be peeling some garlic. I did about 4, no, it was like 5 cloves of garlic, but they weren't big. Like one of them was big, and then the other ones were like, you know, you get that clove of garlic that has, you think it's 1 clove and it turns out to be like 4 small ones. It was like that situation. So one of them was really big, but then the other ones were like the small, thinner things of garlic. And I didn't feel like getting a cutting board. I know, I'm sorry, but I mean, it is what it is. We are working it out regardless. So I'm just peeling this garlic, and this took the longest time. I feel like this took longer than literally everything else in the video. So keep that in mind. We're going to peel our garlic. And then we are going to get us a pan. This is a pan I'm using. I'm not sure the measurements, sorry. But like, that's the pan. It needs to be deep enough to keep everything in, but not too deep that the foil, like your ingredients don't spill over. I don't know how to say it, but we're going to be using foil. We're going to line the whole thing with foil and use a lot of foil. If you think it's too much, do a little bit more, because like it needs to overflow, and you'll see. So we're going to be putting 1 piece of foil one way, horizontally, I guess you could say, and we're going to make sure that it lines the pan in a way that everything stays contained within the foil. Nothing's going to spill out onto the pan. And then we're going to put another piece of foil the other direction, so vertically, and we're going to do a very long, again, piece of foil. If you think it's too much, that's okay. Keep adding it. And don't use the cheap foil. I mean, you can. I'm not saying what I'm using is expensive or anything, but like, it needs to be sturdy foil, if you know what I'm talking about, so that it doesn't like rip and whatnot when you're trying to maneuver it together. So this is what it's going to look like in the pan. Your foil is all together. On the sides, both pieces of foil are going to contain our ingredients, so nothing is going to spill out. It's all going to be in a little foil boat, if you will. We're going to take our onion and we're going to cut both ends. On one end, the one that keeps it all together, you're going to cut just a little, because it's supposed to stay together in our little pan, and then cut off the top. And then we're going to peel our onion just like that. Get that first layer of skin off, and this was supposed to be an onion boil. I don't know if you've seen that online, but that's a real thing. It was supposed to be an onion boil, and then I'm like, I want other vegetables, so that's why this turned into like a veggie boil. So, but our onion is the main star, the main character of this, so we put it directly in the middle of our pan. Then I'm going to add my little pieces of garlic. We're not gonna cut them up or anything. We're just gonna add the garlic to the pan, just like that. Clean up our mess. And so this is what we're looking like. We're zoomed in a little bit. This is what everything looks like. We are going to cut our onion into slices while it's like a blooming onion, if you will. An onion boil, they tend to core the middle of the onion and then like put butter in it, but I feel like that's kind of a waste of onion. I want to eat the whole thing, so I typically just cut my onion into like a blooming onion, like I said. You cut it just enough so that it's not falling apart in the pan, but enough that when you take pieces off, it like rips off easily. So don't cut all the way down. I made a mistake and cut a little too far down on that one, but it's fine. It's still gonna stay together. And don't drag me for this, but like, oh, that's how far down you want to go. Like about halfway, a little more than halfway down. Don't drag me for this. This was actually really hard to film, like cutting the onion. I don't know why. I think the camera was just getting in my way. That's my excuse. The camera's getting in my way. But I cut it into, I did 4 slices, so it's 8 pieces. And it's going to look something like that. It's going to stay together, hold its integrity. And we're going to put that right back in the middle. Like I said, that one part I cut too far down. Don't mind that. But the other pieces, perfect. Next, we're going to take our potatoes. They are done, as you can see, it's not a fork, but you can put a fork through it. And I'm just going to stab each one. I don't need to, but I want the sauce that we make, the broth and whatnot, to like really seep into my potatoes and make them a little more flavorful. So that's why I'm stabbing them. You don't need to. If you are going to just cook the potatoes in the pan without boiling them first, you might want to go ahead and stab them for realsies so that they do cook. You can make sure that they are cooked all the way through. But this isn't necessary for cooked potatoes. I just really I want that flavor in there. Next, I'm going to take my mushrooms. Everything in this video is optional, by the way. You do not have to follow everything. I know some people don't like to eat mushrooms. That's fine. That's one of the biggest comments on some of my videos is, "You mushrooms? You don't have to eat the mushrooms, girl." It's okay. I'm not going to be offended if you opt out of eating the mushrooms. It's fine. It's your palate, not mine. I used to hate mushrooms. I get it. So I'm going to be adding my mushrooms. This is a pretty big mushroom, so I'm going to cut it into 4 and just plop those in there. The smaller ones, I think it's cremini. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just put them in whole, but you don't have to do that. So I'm wiping them off and cutting off the stem. Is that called a stem? I don't remember my mushroom anatomy very well. I'm sorry. But I'm cutting that off and then just cutting them into 4. Next, I'm going to be adding my broccoli, my frozen broccoli. I really like broccoli, so I'm adding a lot. You do not have to, again, everything's optional. You can either omit the broccoli or add less. You can add more. Girl, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do. I'm here for you. And I'm here for my palate. And this was so bomb. Next, we're going to be doing the Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetable base. We're going to take a teaspoon of that in 4 ounces of water. And going to be just putting that in. The mushrooms, the broccoli, are going to make their own liquid as well because the broccoli is frozen. So it's going to create more liquid than it looks like we have in the end. So don't be concerned about that. Next, we're going to be adding garlic powder. I did 4 teaspoons of garlic powder. Oh, and also I must mention that I did this recipe with just butter the first time. Came out great. I did this recipe with just broth. Came out great. I did varying mixtures and percentages of butter to broth. They all come out great. So whatever you want to do, if you're trying to watch your calories and watch your intake, just do the broth. If you want to turn up, do more butter. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. I am also adding Cajun seasoning. I'm going to be adding 4 teaspoons of that. The broth is salty. The Cajun salt is salty. And the butter is salty. So keep that in mind. I don't think I added too much butter or too much salt. It tasted fine to me, but use your own discretion. You can use more, you can use less. Next, I'm going to be adding some red chili flakes because I wanted mine to have a little kick to it. I like a little spice. So I'm adding about a teaspoon of that. Then I'm going to be adding some pepper, some cracked black pepper, however much you want. And then I'm going to be adding Miyoko's. I wasn't using this one before, so I forgot that it came in like this giant block. The one I was using before, I think was, I don't remember, but it came in like a smaller butter, I don't know, sticks, smaller butter sticks. There we go. So I'm looking at the package. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a 4th cup of this. So I'm gonna take a 4th cup of my butter stick. This is my first time using this for this recipe. I haven't used Miyoko's in a very long time, so bear with me. But it came out really good, so no complaints. And I'm just gonna cut these into pieces, or cut them into slices like that, so that everything can melt and be together and be in harmony and be delicious. So that's what I'm doing here. Not me dropping the butter. Oh my gosh. Should I edit that out? No, it's too late. I don't care enough to edit it out. So we're just gonna be putting the slices in like that. And yeah, just put it all around. I mean, you probably could just throw the butter in. I don't know. That's up to you. But I want to just make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed throughout. And basically, we're going to be cooking this so that the onion is cooked all the way through. Everything else cooks pretty fast, pretty easily. Our potatoes are done, so that's not a worry. We want that onion to be cooked, to be finger licking good. So we're going to close this foil, and this is why they need to be long, because you're going to just close it like a little tent. And I'm just going to adjust it so that I make sure that none of the liquid that's going to be produced is going to spill out. So that's what you see me doing here. And we're just going to close it like a little tent, a happy little tent. And yes, so there's a little room in there for like the steam. And then we're going to close the other side. And this side, my foil was too short. I was debating if I wanted to grab another extra layer of foil, but then I was like, no, just make sure that it's closed enough so that all of the heat that's produced in the steam can be just in the foil, so that that onion can cook to the best of its ability. But make sure, if you do this, it is better to like make sure that both sides you can close like I did the first side, so that so that the steam can't escape. So we're going to put it in for 1 hour at 425 Fahrenheit or about 200 Celsius, and then we're going to let it cool for 30 minutes. And then we're going to have a lime. I just did this on this recipe, and it was a really good addition. I'm going to cut the lime into 4 and like the quarter wedge squeezed on top. So good, so delicious. You see this burn? I 2nd degree burned myself. Ugh, tragic, but it's fine. This is an hour later, and the reveal is here. This is what we got. This is what we're working. Ooh, you can't tell me that don't look good. If you do tell me that look good, you're lying. You're literally lying. I don't like liars. But as you can see, that onion's cooked. Let me zoom you in. That onion's cooked. Do you hear me? Yeah. Does that not look seasoned? Does that not look delicious? I don't know. It does to me. It really does to me. And every time I send someone a picture of it, they're like, ooh, what you doing over there, girl? What you doing? I want some. Absolutely. This is so easy. I've eaten this so many times since the first time I made it. And this is the iPhone footage, what it looks like. You see the liquid that was made. That was way more liquid than we started with. So that's what that looks like. And here's the onion. As you can see, you just pluck off a little piece, a little petal, if you will. You dip that in that sauce. And yeah. Did that. It was delicious. And then we're just gonna squeeze our little lime on top. This was actually really good with lime. It's really good without. but it's also like really good with. So that's optional. Just everything in this is optional. You can choose not to make this. I really don't care. But if you do make this, highly recommend. Highly recommend. I'm just saying. So this is moi trying my beautiful creation. There's that potato. You see how soft that is? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Dip that in that sauce. Ooh! Yes. I'm getting so excited. I might make this tonight. There's the broccoli. Very soft. Obviously, it was frozen broccoli that's cooked. There's the mushroom. Bomb. Sucked up a lot of that broth, a lot of that flavor. Ugh. Too good. It's too good. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back with another video very soon, so keep a lookout for that. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.